Hey, it's Philly here from Chris and Philly Functional Medicine. I am on a mission to end body burnout in high achieving parents, especially mums with energy, mood, and gut issues. So this week actually marks 2 years since the COVID pandemic hit Tassie. And I can tell you right now, collectively the world over, our poor little adrenal glands have taken a hit. Can anyone say that they haven't been affected by the pandemic at some point? I'm sure you have experienced heightened stress in the last 2 years and maybe even a bucket load of chronic stress. And so today in this video, I wanted to talk about the stress hormones, adrenal fatigue, and also what you can do in terms of food and nutrition to help support your stress hormones. Now, for some people, this insane amount of stress is breaking down the body. It's showing up as fatigue, low immunity, anxiety, heartburn, PMS, infertility, skin issues, achiness, plus so much more. And this is really playing havoc with our adrenal glands. Now, a little bit of physiology here. So the adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys and they secrete your stress hormones, cortisol and DHEA. Now, when your body and or your mind is under stress or inflamed for a long period of time, your stress hormones can go out of whack and eventually they start to deplete. And when this happens, your brain no longer communicates to your adrenal glands effectively, which can leave you in a chronic and not very nice feeling state of fight or flight. So over time, this can lead to body burnout symptoms such as anxiety and depression and fatigue and low immunity, female hormone issues, gut issues, chronic pain, and insomnia. And there are 4 major causes of adrenal fatigue, which, we see in our practice. Lots of different types of stresses, but some of those 4 main ones are emotional stress. Then you could have dietary stress, pain, and hidden inflammation. And by that, I mean inflammation coming from somewhere else in the body, such as the gut or the detox pathways. So we take a holistic approach to treating your stress hormones using functional medicine lab testing, mindset coaching, nutrition, lifestyle modifications, and nutraceutical supplementation where it's needed. And in this video today, I wanted to focus on how food can stress out the adrenals and also how you can use nutrition to heal your stress hormones back to a state of calm and boost your immune system in the process. Goodbye, Rona. Yes, please give me that. So there are 2 main fundamentals for healing the adrenals. And they are 1, to stabilize your blood sugar levels, which will also help to stabilize cortisol, your stress hormone. And number 2 is reducing inflammatory foods to take stress off the adrenals, and taking away those foods and instead replacing them with anti-inflammatory whole foods. So in terms of stabilizing the blood sugar levels, stress literally changes the way that we eat. So most people under stress tend to eat foods that convert to sugar quickly in the bloodstream, including sweets and starches and carbs. This quick fuel can keep us going in emergencies, but too frequently it becomes our fuel of choice for non-emergency times as well. So while we are under stress, predictable physiological changes occur in which the mechanisms which control blood sugar levels are taxed. So if blood sugar levels go too high or too low, cortisol, your stress hormone, will rise. And this can cause and exacerbate adrenal fatigue. If blood sugar imbalances are happening chronically, it's chronically going to be affecting your stress hormones. So our food plan for adrenal fatigue is designed to counteract this trend and improve your body's functioning while under stress by maintaining your blood sugar levels. So the goal is to keep your blood sugar balanced throughout the day so that you avoid the highs and lows that can add to your stress levels. If you eat properly, you can maintain your blood sugar and maintain even energy and mood throughout the day. And don't we all want more of that? So there are a few key points for stabilizing blood sugar levels. Number 1 is avoid sugar and other refined high carbohydrate foods. 2 is limit higher glycemic fruits such as bananas, dried fruit, grapes, pineapple, and also starchy veggies like potato and corn. You don't have to completely avoid these foods, but just limit the amount you're having per serve. Some people will need to also experiment to see how grains affect the blood sugar levels in terms of the amount and maybe, when in the day they can eat them. Number 3 is each meal should contain a balanced amount of fats, proteins, and carbs. So if you're in adrenal fatigue, it is recommended to not go too low with carbs. So not like full on keto generally. You want to keep to around maybe 100 grams of carbohydrate a day. And again, this may differ for each individual. Some people might do better with less. Some people might actually do better with more. Number 4 is to eat regularly. So at least breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you're particularly low in vitality and struggling with blood sugar crashes, you will want to eat some snacks in between as well. So, you might want to aim to eat every 2 to 4 hours. And I know that this is very different to like intermittent fasting or anything like that, but we're using this diet really specifically for adrenal fatigue. Number 5 is avoid at least limit caffeine and alcohol, as they both affect blood sugar levels and cortisol levels. So the other premise is reducing inflammatory foods and increasing whole foods. So inflammatory foods are always going to put stress on the adrenal glands. Any food that inflames the gut will cause a cortisol response. And when healing the adrenals, you will want to avoid common inflammatory foods. And some of these include, number 1, processed and refined foods such as trans fats, additives, preservatives, refined sugars. These are foreign to the body and will cause inflammation. So think about them as eating plastic. Yuck. Number 2, to avoid artificial sweeteners like equal aspartame. These chemicals disrupt the brain chemistry and blood sugar. And many have been reported to having side effects, including neurological symptoms. That stuff is not good. Number 3 is alcohol. Hello, alcohol again. It puts a really big burden on the liver, which can lead to poor detoxification and toxin overload, stressing your body out even more. Also, caffeine, again. Caffeine can be inflammatory for some people. It's also a stimulant for cortisol production, and it can already add an extra load onto already stressed out adrenals. So you're wanting to take out any potential stresses when trying to heal your adrenal glands. The number 5 food to reduce or to eliminate is wheat and gluten containing products. Now, many people have a sensitivity or an intolerance to gluten, and it can cause inflammation in the gut, which can then stress out the adrenals for at least 3 months. I usually recommend people avoid gluten. You can always challenge it later to see if it affects you individually. And soy. Soy is a bit like wheat. Both of them have been adulterated with Roundup, genetically modified, and many people also have a sensitivity to soy. So again, soy should be eliminated for a time to see if it affects you negatively. The 7th food is dairy. Now, if you're not sure if dairy inflames you, I'd recommend having at least 2 weeks off all dairy products, then reintroduce the products in one at a time to assess if dairy causes reactions. For some people, they can eat most dairy products, if not all. For other people, it's a big source of inflammation. So what should you eat? Lots and lots of veggies, meat and eggs, unless you're a vegan, vegetarian. Gluten-free grains are okay. Legumes are fine. Nuts and seeds, fruits. If you can purchase organic, that is always best. You will also want to get plenty of water into your body. If you check out our other blog posts, you will find lots of adrenal-friendly recipes to help you on your journey to healing your adrenals. And if you're a client in our Ending Body Burnout membership, you can have access to over 100 plus different adrenal recipes in our online portal under the recipes and resources section. I've also categorized these under breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, desserts, drinks, so you can jump into our membership portal and find exactly what you're after. And P.S. If you're not a client and you suspect you have adrenal fatigue and this nutritional advice isn't quite addressing your symptoms, you might find our free 10-part hormonal and gut burnout mini course useful. You can learn a whole heap more about adrenal fatigue and also how we treat it in that mini course. It is likely that you may need some more individualized and targeted therapeutic support to correct your adrenal glands. We would always test your adrenals first before treating, as sometimes the adrenal glands are fine, but it is actually, say, your neurotransmitters or your mitochondria that are causing your symptoms. So, to learn more about adrenal fatigue and other body systems that can burn out and lead to energy, mood, and gut issues, sign up to our Burnout mini course, and I'll leave the link underneath this video. Thank you so much for listening.